Good morning and happy Sunday. Today's message is one I've carried in my bones for years, and maybe you have too. Some families don't disown you with words. They do it with silence or distance, or by loving a version of you that never really existed. It's Pride Month, and while many are celebrating chosen family and hardwood joy, others are quietly grieving what should have been. And I want to speak to both today. Here's today's question. Dr. Shannon, I came out years ago, but I still haven't stopped looking for my mother's approval. I don't think it's ever going to come. Well, this hits home for so many of us, so let me be as direct as I can be. You are not broken because they couldn't see you. They are limited because they couldn't love all of you. And here's the brutal truth: we don't outgrow the need to be seen. We just get better at hiding that need. And I know that ache personally. Years ago, I helped create a grassroots campaign called Love is Love that helped to legalize marriage equality in the state of Florida. Later, we joined the national movement that helped make marriage equality the law of the land. But we weren't just fighting for laws. We were fighting to be seen. That's why today, behind me, you'll see a section of the original 2-mile rainbow flag created by Gilbert Baker in 1978. This very piece was part of the flag we used during our Love is Love campaign, the same one we helped carry all the way to Washington, D.C. Since then, it's traveled the world, and now it's here in Southeast Missouri, in our town. That might not seem like much to some people, but for those of us who grew up never seeing ourselves reflected, it means everything. And even back then, the deepest battle wasn't in the courts. It was in the quiet, the disinvites, the living rooms where people pretended not to hear. In other words, family estrangement isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just a seat that never was saved, a phone that never rings, a version of you that never they tried to meet. If you've ever felt that, whether you're LGBTQ+, the one who speaks up, the so-called black sheep, or just different, you're not alone here. And more importantly, you are not unworthy of love just because someone else withheld it. But let's also be honest. Most of us at some point have wondered quietly, was I too much? If I had stayed quiet, would they have stayed close? Am I unlovable or just inconvenient? That's why this space exists. This is where we get ridiculously real, because healing doesn't start when we sugarcoat it. It starts when we name what hurts and still choose to live anyway. So what do you do when people who raised you don't really know you? Or worse, when they do and still turn away? Let's talk about that. Not in a list, not in theory, but in real human moments. Because healing isn't a formula. It's a decision made one honest moment at a time. So let's start here. Ask yourself, without any shame, what do I need most right now? Maybe it's space. Maybe it's connection. Maybe it's just permission to stop pretending you're fine and let that be enough. Then gently and intentionally get out of your head and back into your life. Not into a toxic positivity kind of way, but in your life is still worth living even while you're healing kind of way. Put on the music. Call someone who really sees you. Take yourself to the place where you feel the most like you. Because joy isn't betrayal, it is medicine. And finally, become the place you never had. That's what pride really is. Not just parades, but people who've learned to love themselves out loud. And that isn't just an LGBTQ plus truth. It's a human one. Because you don't have to be queer to know what rejection feels like. You just have to be human. So, if no one ever told you, allow me to tell you, I am proud of the way you keep showing up, even when you're hurting. I see how hard you've worked to love yourself. You matter exactly as you are. Let me be the one who says it today and be the first to welcome you into our one human family. Thank you for your question. If this message stirred something in you, a memory, a tear, a moment of truth, send me an email at drshannon@kfes12.com. I'd be honored to hear your story. Your story matters here. And if you're looking for tools to stay grounded during the complicated seasons, check out my podcast, First Response with Dr. Shannon. You'll find real talk for real life, especially when life doesn't come with easy answers. You can listen on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, or wherever you get your podcasts. Next Sunday is Father's Day, and I know that day holds different meaning for everyone. Whether you're celebrating grieving or still figuring it out, we'll hold space for all of it next week. Until then, you are allowed to build the life, the love, and the peace you've always deserved. You are truly worthy. You are truly enough. And always remember, you are worth it. Lean into being the best version of yourself, one small step at a time. Happy Sunday.